One of the most interesting ancient stories said, a master had 3 servants, and he gave them talents. Talents is simply value. Philosophy is to determine value. And once you understand that you have value, the key is to see what you can do with it. And here was the commission that the master gave his 3 servants. He gave one 5 talents, the other one 2, and the third one 1 talent. And his commission was, see what you can do with these values. And that's what life is all about. See what you can do with your mind. See what you can do with your skills. See what you can do with your hands. See what you can do with your thinking, your possibilities, your capabilities. The key is to see what you can do with it all, because results is the name of the game. And he said, I'll be gone for a while, and when I return, we'll go over the results. Here's all life expects us to do: make measurable progress in reasonable time. Now, according to the story, the master evidently was gone reasonable time. We can't ask every 5 minutes, how are you doing now? Right? That's unreasonable. And we can't wait 5 years, that'd be too late. So that's what we call reasonable time to ask, how are you doing now? What progress have you made now in this long list of human values and experiences? So the master, having been gone evidently reasonable time, came back, got the 3 servants together, and asked one of life's most important questions. How did you do? In the time that was gone, what progress did you make? What results did you show? He asked this servant who had 5 talents what happened, and that servant said, I turned 5 into 10. Those numbers, I think, are very important, 5 and 10. Do you think they have any significance? I think in higher learning they have very much significance. Now, in average learning, it probably doesn't matter. But in higher learning, we say it's very important to understand the numbers. Key life question, should we be expected to double our values in reasonable time? Answer, of course. Shouldn't we be expected to make progress? How many years do you want your child to spend in 4th grade? About 1. You say, well, if they're nice kids, would you give them 3 or 4 years? You say, no. You can't give your child 4 years to get through 4th grade. That's too much time to make such small progress. Now, wouldn't it be important to ask those same questions all of our life? See, we build those 1st grade desks so small so they won't fit at age 21. And shouldn't it be a reasonable question, what are you doing here? All this time has passed. So I think it's very important, according to the story, to go from 5 to 10 in reasonable time. Now, the master said in response to these numbers, good job, well done. And to this servant he said, what happened? That servant said, I turned 2 into 4. Now, would you find that significant, turning 2 into 4? I think it is. Key phrase, life is a numbers game. Part of life is a numbers game. How many books should you read to be adequately prepared to debate the major life issues in the next 10 years? Do you think it's important to come up with a pretty good reasonable number of books in a wide variety of subjects to be adequately prepared to debate the major life issues in the next 10 years? The answer is of course. Now, wouldn't it be important to know about what the number of those books are and what the wide range of major life topics are? This is very important stuff. This is not get-by stuff now. Right? You can get a crust of bread and a pair of shoes and stay out of the rain and do okay, but this is called higher learning for success and leadership and influence and skills that serve well for the future. So it's very important, numbers. How many pounds overweight should you be at age 50? Approximately. About none. Well, we may let you borrow 1 or 2, but 5 and we say, hey, 10 and we say, hey, hey. 15 and we say, hold it. 20 and we turn on the red lights and the sirens. You can't go beyond 20 with any reasonable amount of safety for your health and your future. So numbers are very important. When a reasonable time has passed to say, let's go over the numbers one more time to make sure we're not off track. Everything by longevity tends to drift off track. So we have to keep coming back, what we call mid-course corrections. If you're headed for the moon, the early guidance system when you first blast off doesn't serve for the whole trip. You got mid-course corrections. And they're very important when you're headed for the moon. Because you can miss Kansas City and hit St. Louis and you're all right, but you can't miss the moon, right? So, results being the name of the game, when reasonable time has passed, we have got to, among reason-thinking people, to check out your numbers. Okay? And whatever these numbers may represent in skills or learning or capacity or equities of mind, 5 to 10, 2 to 4. The master said to this servant, I gave you 1 talent. What happened? That servant said, I've still got the same talent. And the story said, the master lost his cool. Or something like that. We call that proper response to lack of results. We must show that the insidious is insidious. We must show how empty life can be without measurable progress. We must get right on the problems and the challenges, lest we yield too easy to the things that can leave our lives empty instead of full and leave us with pennies instead of fortune. We must have proper response to lack of results. Jesus said to his disciples one day, does that fig tree have any figs? Is that an important life question? Does the fig tree have any figs? That's such an important life question if it's a fig tree. His disciples said, no, sir, that tree doesn't have any figs. The story said Jesus lost his cool. One of the few times he lost his cool. We call that proper response to lack of results. Shouldn't we pour it on? Lack of results? Shouldn't we make it clear? Shouldn't we become emotional? Shouldn't we become philosophically strong and find and select powerful words that will illustrate the point? Lack of results? Right? So, I guess the moral to the story is, fig trees better have figs, especially when the maker of the fig tree comes by. Results is the name of the game.